Ferrari's Silverstone upgrade may have leaked, and rivals are already asking the one question Ferrari feared most. Is this just development, or does the FIA need to investigate it before it becomes a weapon? Because after Austria, Ferrari did not need attention. Ferrari needed answers. The SF26 faded. The pressure exploded. And now, right before Silverstone, a circuit built to expose high-speed balance, tire degradation, wind sensitivity, and aerodynamic instability, Ferrari's new package has become the center of the paddock. The source connects this story to Ferrari's Austrian Grand Prix shock, the radical upside-down wing concept, the new Formula One era, and early SF26 shakedown details. But it does not confirm official leaked images. It does not reveal the exact upgrade specification, and does not prove rivals have filed a formal FIA investigation request. That uncertainty is what makes this dangerous. Because in Formula One, rivals do not always wait for proof. They react to direction. And if Ferrari's upgrade is aggressive enough, unusual enough, or connected to that radical aero concept, then every rival team knows the risk. If the FIA clears it, Ferrari may have found a legal weapon. If the FIA questions it, Ferrari's Silverstone weekend could fall apart before the race even begins. So now the question is not just whether Ferrari's upgrade works. The real question is whether Ferrari brought a breakthrough or something rivals are desperate to stop before it changes the entire development race. Subscribe to the channel. To understand why this first block matters, you have to understand why rivals would react to a Ferrari upgrade before the full truth is even public. Because in Formula One, teams do not panic over random parts. They panic over direction. A new upgrade is never just a new shape on the car. It is a signal. It tells the paddock what a team is trying to solve, what it believes is missing, and sometimes what it has been hiding. And Ferrari's Silverstone package arrives at exactly the kind of moment where every signal matters. After Austria, Ferrari was not in control of the story. The SF26 faded. The team looked exposed. The pressure increased. And suddenly, a car that was supposed to represent a bold new direction became a question mark heading toward one of the most unforgiving circuits of the season. That is why this leak is dangerous. Because Ferrari does not get to define the meaning of the upgrade alone. Rivals will define it too. They will look at the timing. They will look at the circuit. They will look at the weakness Austria may have revealed. They will look at the radical aerodynamic concept already associated with the car. Then they will ask one brutal question. Did Ferrari bring this package to attack or to survive? That question changes everything. If this is an attacking upgrade, Ferrari is telling the paddock it has found performance. It is saying the SF26 still has a live development path. It is saying Austria was painful but not defining. It is saying the team understands a car and is ready to push harder. That version is dangerous for rivals. But if this is a survival upgrade, the message is different. Then Ferrari may be admitting, without saying it out loud, that Silverstone could expose a weakness too big to ignore. That is why rivals are paying attention. Not because they know everything, because they know enough to be suspicious. Silverstone is not a normal test. It is a high-speed truth machine. It forces the car to show whether the downforce is stable, whether the tires can survive repeated load, whether the driver can trust the rear, whether the front responds cleanly, and whether the aerodynamic platform stays calm when the circuit starts pulling the car through long, fast corners. If Ferrari's upgrade is aimed at those areas, rivals can read the intention. They may not know the exact geometry. They may not know the full airflow target. They may not know what Ferrari saw in simulation, but they can understand the message. Ferrari is worried about how the SF26 behaves when the loads rise. And once rivals believe that, the investigation pressure begins to make sense. Because a leaked upgrade gives competitors time to ask whether the part is only clever or whether it is too clever. That distinction is the entire Formula One game. Clever is admired. Too clever is protested. A normal development step is accepted, even if rivals dislike it. But an aggressive part connected to a radical concept, arriving at a circuit where Ferrari urgently needs answers, becomes something different. It becomes a possible precedent. And precedent is what rival teams fear most. A precedent tells the grid where the line is. It tells engineers how far the rules can be pushed. It tells designers whether a shape they avoided may actually be allowed. It tells rivals whether Ferrari found a legal path before everyone else. That is why a rival might ask the FIA to look before the upgrade has even dominated anything. They are not waiting for Ferrari to win with it. They are trying to stop the idea before it becomes normal. Because once a concept runs, gets cleared, gathers data, and starts improving, the rest of the grid is already behind. That is how development wars begin. Not always with a race victory. Sometimes with a leaked image, a suspicious shape, and one rival engineer saying, "We need the FIA to check that." Ferrari knows this. The team knows any unusual Silverstone package will be watched closely. It knows the SF26 already carries questions after Austria. It knows the radical upside-down wing concept has made people study the car differently. It knows that when a car with that kind of story brings a new part, the paddock does not simply say, "Nice upgrade." The paddock asks why. Why this part? Why now? Why before Silverstone? Why after Austria? Why does it look like that? Why does Ferrari need this direction? And if the answers point towards something aggressive, the next question becomes regulatory. Is it legal? Not because Ferrari has been proven guilty. The source does not prove that. But because Formula One teams are trained to defend themselves before the damage becomes real. A rival team does not wait until a legal weapon costs it points. It tries to understand the weapon before it matures. That is why FIA attention can begin with uncertainty. Uncertainty is enough. If a rival sees a Ferrari upgrade that appears to stretch a rule, affect airflow in an unusual way, or connect with a concept that could create a new advantage, the rival has every reason to ask for clarification. Clarification is not always accusation. Sometimes it is strategy. A clarification can slow momentum. It can force Ferrari to explain. It can make the FIA define a limit. It can create pressure around a package before Ferrari has the chance to turn it into confidence. That is why this situation is so delicate for Ferrari. The team needs the upgrade to work, but it also needs the upgrade to survive attention. Those are two different tests. The stopwatch test asks, is the car faster? The legal test asks, is the part allowed? The strategic test asks, does the upgrade fix the right problem? Ferrari has to pass all three. Passing only one is not enough. If the part is legal but does not fix the fading problem, Ferrari is still exposed. If the part improves the car but creates FIA concern, Ferrari's weekend becomes unstable. If the part targets the wrong weakness, the car may still struggle at Silverstone even if the upgrade looks impressive. That is the trap. And this is why the first block of the story is not really about the leak itself. It is about the pressure created by the leak. A leak changes timing. Without a leak, Ferrari can bring the package, run it, evaluate it, and control its language. With a leak, rivals begin building theories early. Media questions begin early. Fans begin expecting something early. FIA curiosity, if it exists, begins early. The upgrade becomes a headline before it becomes a lap time. That is dangerous, because every lap afterward becomes a verdict. If Ferrari is fast, rivals become more suspicious. If Ferrari is slow, the team looks desperate. If Ferrari is inconsistent, the upgrade looks incomplete. If Ferrari changes the car heavily between sessions, people ask whether the package is difficult to understand. If the drivers sound cautious, the pressure grows. That is what a leaked upgrade does. It removes the quiet phase. And Ferrari needed the quiet phase. After Austria, the team needed controlled analysis. It needed to understand whether the fade came from tire degradation, setup direction, aerodynamic instability, race conditions, or a deeper concept limitation. It needed to identify whether the SF26 was actually weak in high-speed stability or whether the Austrian result had more specific explanation. But Silverstone gives them no gentle restart. It gives them the hardest possible public exam. A circuit where if the upgrade is meant to calm the car, that will be visible. If it is meant to protect tires, that will be visible. If it is meant to improve aerodynamic stability, that will be visible. If it fails, that will be visible too. That visibility is what makes rivals dangerous. They do not need Ferrari's full data to begin asking questions. They can watch the car. They can compare straight line speed. They can compare corner commitment. They can listen to the drivers. They can study long runs. They can see whether the rear looks settled or nervous. Formula One rivals are experts at reading behavior. A car's behavior can reveal the purpose of an upgrade before the team explains it. If the SF26 suddenly looks calmer through high-speed corners, rivals will ask what created that stability. If it carries similar straight-line speed while gaining corner confidence, rivals will ask whether the package is more efficient than expected. If the tires last longer without an obvious setup compromise, rivals will ask how Ferrari achieved that. And if the answer appears connected to an unusual design feature, the pressure on the FIA grows. Because every team wants the same thing, a clear line. They want to know whether Ferrari's idea is allowed, whether it can be copied, or whether it should be stopped before becoming the next development direction. That is why an investigation request, formal or informal, can become part of the competitive game. A team can use the FIA to force clarity, and clarity can either help Ferrari or hurt it. If the FIA clears the package, Ferrari gains validation. That would be powerful. It would tell rivals that the idea was checked and allowed. It would tell Ferrari's engineers that their direction is safe. It would tell the drivers the team can keep developing around the package. It would tell the factory that the radical concept still has room to grow. A cleared upgrade becomes stronger psychologically. But if the FIA raises doubts, everything changes. Then Ferrari may lose time. The team may have to modify the part. The drivers may lose confidence. Rivals may feel encouraged. The story may become less about Ferrari's recovery and more about whether the team pushed too far because the SF26 needed urgent help. That would be a terrible place to be at Silverstone, because Ferrari already has enough to solve. It does not need a regulatory battle on top of a performance problem. But that is exactly the risk when an aggressive upgrade leaks. The team loses control of who tells the story first. And in Formula One, the first version of a story can be powerful. If rivals frame the upgrade as suspicious, Ferrari has to defend it. If Ferrari frames it as normal development, rivals will try to show why it is not normal. If the FIA becomes involved, the entire weekend gains another layer. That layer can distract. It can pressure. It can make every driver comment more sensitive. It can make every technical detail more valuable. And it can force Ferrari into a strange position, trying to explain enough to calm suspicion without revealing enough for rivals to copy the idea. That is one of the hardest balances in the sport. A team defending an innovation must protect the secret and prove legality at the same time. Too little explanation and suspicion grows. Too much explanation and rivals learn. Ferrari will want the FIA process to be quiet, narrow, and clean. Rivals will want the opposite. They will want clarity that helps them understand the concept.